Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our first ever ResQ Big Breakfast. I'm Gill Marchbank, and I'll be your host today, along with...
Hi, I'm Matt Gray. I'm co-hosting with Gill today.
So we have our special guests, which are the SLT, so I'll introduce you to them in case you don't know them. We have John Nicholson. Welcome, John.
Good morning.
We have Dan Wardle. We have Steve Thompson. And we have John Cadden. And last but certainly not least, we have Lee Candler.
Good morning, gents.
Good morning.
How was your journey from CM? Long. Good. Right, so what's going to happen today is we're going to have a little bit of a chat about ResQ, where we're heading, where we've been, where we've come from. But first of all, I'm going to ask you all, my panel, a couple of questions each. Well, one question each. Are you scared?
Yeah.
Good, so we'll start with Cadden. So Cadden, you are Director of Business Governance. Apparently, that's your job title?
Yeah.
Director of AOB. Yeah, well, exactly. That was my point. So we say Cadden will fix it. Anything that comes along, broken aircon, vomit in the toilet, whatever it might be. Jack of all trades. Tell me though, I really want to know, what is the most exciting part of your job?
I've got to be so careful here, aren't I? I suppose for what we do, it's the variety and not knowing what happens from day to day, from minute to minute.
Isn't that a bit stressful though?
It is when your name pops up on my mobile phone, yes.
At 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Let's not read too much into that and move quickly on, shall we? Right, John Nicholson. That's possibly the newest member of this panel, I think, of ResQ. And as a gentleman with a very corporate background,
Thanks.
can you tell me the biggest personal difference that you found working at ResQ?
Oh, that's a rock hard question.
Yeah, I know. But I bet you've got a good answer.
I don't know about that. So I think for me, the biggest personal difference was in corporate, you kind of can't have a personality when you get to a particular role, and you've got to be quite vanilla. And I think we embrace people as themselves and as individuals. So it was really quite hard going from 20 years of this vanilla, straight-faced, deadpan person to allowing to be myself a little bit.
So what you're saying is ResQ gave you a personality?
Something like that.
And have you recently been given a new nickname at ResQ?
No.
No. He has actually, but I'm not sharing it. And over to you, Steve. You've been at ResQ 7 years, which I thought was 8. That's how it feels to me. Sorry, I hit the microphone. What has been your biggest achievement or your team's biggest achievement since you started? Because what I see is we've made huge inroads into learning and development, into recruitment, and in those areas are driving a lot of the performance gains that we see. So for you professionally, what's your biggest achievement?
Professionally, I think you're absolutely right. I think from where I joined, what was it, 7 years ago, we did about 12 million turnover. And I think the DNA of the business was still there in terms of the culture, but want to give people jobs. It's kind of evolved now to giving people careers. I mean, we've moved from 12 million turnover then to 50 odd million turnover now. And it's a place where people genuinely want to come to work. And I think that's testament to a lot of the work that obviously the operations everybody does, but certainly from transform the recruitment process, absolutely transform learning, development and training and what we do around that. HR is much more about the people rather than processes. So I think all of that is kind of culminated into the kind of culture that we've created now where people genuinely want to come to work for ResQ and genuinely want to stay here.
I hope that's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
The
Is it
stats,
true?
the stats will bear that out.
Yeah. The enthusiasm was killing me.
Yeah.
It's killing me. Right, thank you, Steve. Lee, as a man with many external hobbies, which some of you may or may not know, Lee does a lot of diving. He also likes to build boats. He likes to build things, don't you? I was wondering, working at ResQ, how do you find the right work-life balance and what do you get out of work that fits those needs to go and build stuff and create things?
Yeah, thanks for the easy question. I do think the roles that I've been involved with in ResQ are all about building things. And I think from my perspective, being involved in campaigns from the very start, onboarding them, the contractual side, and then looking at how they build through into different forms of work for that same client. Essentially, it's all about building blocks. It's about putting in place the right strategy.
It was an easy question.
Yeah, it was.
I gave you the answer in the question.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, for me, it really does satisfy my need to be able to build things and create solutions, and that's what I spend most of my working day doing now.
Excellent.
So that's why.
Good. Right, Daniel.
Hi.
Last but not least, as a graduate with a degree in, anyone know? History.
Fish and chips.
I didn't mention the fish and chips. That's harsh. How does working at ResQ compare to your original career aspirations?
It doesn't.
Okay. Did you want to be a fireman?
No, I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah, and I
We
planned
saved
on
you.
I planned on teaching young kids, and then the older I was getting, the older was the person I wanted to teach, and then I realised it's just because I didn't want to teach at all. I kept putting it off, and then I actually had an interview to go into teaching the same day, an interview with Mr. Gray, and here we are. So
Excellent.
yeah, it doesn't compare at all.
Good. Thank you very much. Anyone got a question for me?
There's plenty coming.
Okay, so we're moving on now, aren't we, Matt? What's the next thing we're doing?
So, first thing I want to do, obviously, give everyone a bit of an update on 2024, how we did last year. And then, obviously, we'll cap it off at the end of the show with what 2025 looks like. So, my clicker works. It's a good start. Ooh, press the wrong button. See, we've rehearsed this well. Okay, so 2024 recap. So lots and lots of positive things to look at for last year. So headline figures are, if you compare 2023 performance versus 2024, the business has actually grown year on year by 7%.
What does that actually mean, though?
So
I mean, I do know what it means.
in numbers,
Okay.
in 2023 we delivered £50.4 million, and last year we delivered 53.9, very short to 54 million. So it's incredible to move forward by that much. Give yourselves a round of applause. Just going back to the point Steve made earlier as well, starting 7 years ago, was doing like 12 million. So it just shows the growth of the business over that period, and obviously a lot more to come, which we will come to later. Okay, so we have some fun facts.
Are they fun?
Some of them are.
Okay, good.
One very important fact that I think we need to mention before we go on to these is our attrition figures for last year, which have been a record low. What was the percentage, Steve?
5.5%.
Over the full year.
Yeah, as an
So
average.
if you put that into context, if you look at 5%, just over 5% attrition month on month, annualised attrition is the lowest it's ever been in ResQ history. And the industry standard would be about 120% annualised attrition. That means over everybody leaves every year. And for our results to be like that are amazing, and it's testament to the work I think that we're doing around engagement, what way we transform training, the way we look at our recruitment processes, and doing our absolute best to make this a great place to work. And I'm really, really proud of those figures.
Yeah, another. So, fun facts. I'm going to ask you some questions. You can join in, audience. How many calls last year do you think we made or took in total across the whole of ResQ? Give me a figure. What are you thinking, gents? 1 million. Say again? 1.4 million.
In a month? That'll be a month.
16.5 million from John. It's very close, to be fair.
More. It's higher.
So 17,658,000 calls in 1 year.
Is that connected calls or dials?
calls. What was that?
The recruitment alone.
Okay, next question. How many meters, gas and electricity meters, do you think we sold across campaigns in ResQ last year?
50,000.
50,000 from Lee. Higher.
500,000.
500,000 from Dan. Higher.
1.2 million.
Not
Lower.
quite that much.
Like 50% of that.
614,000 gas and electricity meters sold within ResQ last year.
That's amazing.
Mobile phones.
Phone a friend.
Come on, we've got some photo guys in there. How many reckoning? How many mobile phones you sold last year?
230,000.
You're so on the pulse. Not.
No.
How many?
4 million.
Not quite.
About a million. About a million.
1.6 million.
What did you say? Year.
Oh, good recovery. Good recovery.
And so across all of those 17, very good fact, 17 million calls, contacts with customers, the percentage of complaints we received as a business was 0.006%.
Do you know how incredible that is in outsourcing?
Yeah. Unbelievable stats.
But do you know what that tells you though? What does that tell you about the people who are making and taking those phone calls? That we're not getting complaints.
That they're engaged.
They don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to miss-sell, and that's
Committed, yeah.
that is outstanding.
Shout out to IT as well, reluctantly. Uptime, so basically percentage of time that we went in ResQ downtime, excluding client, because it'd be a lot higher. Only down across the full year for 0.21% of ResQ systems down, so 99.79% uptime, which again is incredible and testament to
Giles and his team.
Giles and his team. So well done, guys. All right, just a couple of fun ones. Coffee shop downstairs. How many coffees do you think they made last year? 1 million. That was just for you.
Not as many as John Cudden.
Yeah, that's true. Fair.
So 33,000 coffees made in the coffee shop last year. It's a fun one. Across both of our Christmas parties, there were 550 shots of alcohol served. And between both sites throughout the year, we've gone through over 100 kilograms of sweets.
Have we?
I reckon we've done half
I
of them.
reckon we've done half of them, yeah.
Okay, so that is your recap of 2024.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well done, everybody. So, on to our next section, Jill,
Yes.
which is with charity.
Oh, charity. Where's that big long list?
I've got it here. Should we? Yeah.
So we asked you guys what charities you'd like to support, and we have about 50 that you came back with. And some of them are outstanding. But what I'd really like to do, we can take a vote on it now if you like, is I would like to continue to support the Trussell Trust, and I'll tell you why. I think where's Steph? I think we had...
Shall I put the stats up for Trussell Trust?
Yes, please. We gave the second largest donation in a day that they've ever received in terms of food. And so I think we're making a really big difference to that charity and to the people in our local communities. So I'd like to continue supporting that. It's nearly 2,000 meals that we were able to provide from your generosity. So I'd like to continue doing that because it's clearly making a difference to people that live locally to us. So
Are we in agreement there, yeah?
And
Well done, everyone.
I'd also like to support the which one is it? It's the one in Leeds, the Candlelighters, which is for poorly little children. And we've supported them before, and we can make a big difference to those people. So I'd like to do that, and also Mind, because I think that's very important to us and a lot of the people that we work with. So
I think there was half a dozen
people that wanted to support
suggested Mind as well. So it's another good charity, I think. Yeah.
They're the ones I've selected. You guys agree with those, I presume. So that's our charities for 2025.
Awesome. Okay, so looking at a bit of learning and development for last year. Pass this on to Steve.
No, well, but you have to look, you should know this off by heart without looking back.
I should do, shouldn't I? It's because Kev's done such a fantastic job with this, and Andy, where's Andy? Who is apparently a better trainer than Kev, so I'm led to believe. I don't know if everybody thinks the same. It's a real thing. Yeah, so
I think these are great figures, aren't they?
Yeah,
People that are
astounding.
finishing the LDP.
And I think the stats bear it out. Some of them we'll look at later on in terms of great place to work. But we've definitely seen an improvement in leadership capability, and I think you can feel that as well. It has a big impact, so thanks Kev and Andy.
Yeah,
thank you.
A couple of other stats on there as well for last year.
So we're going to talk to you about 2025 when we've obviously finished this section, but just we should highlight the growth we're looking for this year when we tell you that we promoted 23 people in 2024, 92% of those were internal promotions, which is why I really like our people to be on the LPP and the LDP programs so that you have these opportunities for promotions. My preference is always to promote from within, and we're all aligned on that, and I think generally speaking everybody in the audience is aligned on that because most of you have been promoted from previous roles. 500 people on the ones to watch, which means that we are building our talent pipeline and career pathways for people, and 106 career surgeries. I did ask you, Steve, if we could do this year soon one of the old-fashioned ones that we used to do, where we set up the stalls. Some of you will remember that, where we set up the stalls and people can come and visit and have a chat to people who are doing those jobs about what it entails. So I'd like to do that before the end of Q1 if possible.
Yep.
We all agreed?
Yep.
Good. Awesome. That's what it says on the bottom, actually. You did listen.
Right. So, next section is
Great places
Great
to work.
Place to work.
So you may have been wondering whether or not we've been accredited as a great place to work. I think we've got a slide we can show before we announce. Yeah, we had 1,082 responses, which is outstanding. And we needed over 70% of our people to say that we're a great place to work. So Jamie Rugg, please, if you just come up and I'll pass you the golden envelope.
Jamie gets the honours.
If you just come and stand here and then you can open that and look into that camera. And
It better be good news, Jamie.
I wouldn't set you out, would I?
The camera doesn't add £10, I've had a bad Christmas. Right, can I get a ooh? I'm delighted to announce, yes, we have been accredited as a great place to work.
Well done, Jamie. Expertly done.
What did he do about? So what does that mean for those of you that listened to the video that Matt and I did when we were talking about Great Place to Work? I mentioned the word "can we get in the paper" about 50,000 times. So if we just click to the next one, we don't know yet, unfortunately, a bit of a downer, but we'll find out in February. If you look at these dials on here, it says up 3 on each of those areas. We've improved by 3 points from the previous survey to get to 74%, 68% and 70%. The percentages at the top in red, they are the averages of the people that have got in the paper in the past. So we've got a fair to middling chance of getting in, but we'll find out. I think it is February, isn't it?
I think it's this month to find out.
Yeah. But, you know, if we don't, we'll do it again this year. So, anything else you want to say on that, Steve?
No, only to say that 75% of the scoring is based on the survey output, so what everybody's completed, which obviously is very good. These are the other 3 areas we really want to focus on for this year, so there's some work that Steph will be doing with everybody here to help us work on those specific areas, because if we can pull those ones up, then we've definitely got a chance of being in the paper. So that's our target for this year, if we don't make it this time.
Excellent. So we've got a bit of an announcement now, I think, about who ranked as the top managers in the survey in both of our sites, in Hull and Seaham. So I think, who's going to go first?
Shall I have the honours? Right, top 5 in Hull, and how competitive we are, in no particular order.
No, they are in order. Definitely in order.
We're doing an order. Right.
Can I just say, there was only one person, though, in the survey that got 100% as a manager. Only one person.
Who do we think?
Who do we think that might be? Can we speculate?
Is it Gill?
Yeah, it's Gill.
A bribe down here.
So, in 5th then, Danielle King.
Well done, Danielle.
We've then got Chantel Brigham. Sam Hunsley. Not that they're all not amazing, but knowing the year this person had, Luke Fieldsend. And ranked highest in Hull is Mr. Intense himself, James Jensen. I think just before John does Seams, so many of those people work in and around our academy agent, so everything we've talked about attrition, and knowing that our newest people are already scoring these people so high is obviously really important, so it's amazing that.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
So then, in a particular order, my fault. In number 5 for Seam was Dan the Truss. Number 4, the man who likes champagne for breakfast, Harley Bramley. At number 3, the one and only Scott Sheriff. Number 2 was Jade Lawson. And in first place for Seam, the one and only Andy Elwell.
Well done.
I think as well, just kind of to follow in a general statement, every single one of those people were internally promoted. So that just supports everything that we said earlier.
So just so everyone knows, there are reasons why those were the top people, and we have all the breakdown by manager as well, which can be shared with you via Steph, and I guess you guys will be distributing that information. Yeah. So congratulations to us. Yay. Okay. Apparently we didn't have a confetti cannon, so I'm not allowed and banned from those, but otherwise we would have that. Right, what is it? We're going to the questions.
We have some Ask the Boss questions. Do you want to do videos first? Audience second?
Yeah, let's do video first.
Right.
See how tough they are.
Do we have volume?
Yeah, so speaker there.
Hi Jill, I'm Lucy. I'm just wondering, with rail closing down and everything, like what's going to happen to some of the benefits, like the cycle to work scheme, the smart tech? Are they going to transfer onto another platform? So obviously there is a few benefits on there that I personally use, and I do know a few people here that they do use them quite a lot as well. I'm just wondering if they'll sort of how we'll be able to access them and things like that.
Yeah, Steve?
Thanks. Well, we took Ray away because obviously people used it, but not as extensively as it was costing us. And it wasn't tailored as well as we'd like it to have done, and I don't think there was necessarily as much value from some of the things we had. So we're actually going to do quite a revamp this year around benefits, which will start kind of in Q1, where we'll be looking at all of the things like cycle to work, all the things like vouchers, shopping vouchers, those kind of things. And pensions as well as something else we're looking at. So we will be announcing some stuff later this year. I can't tell you what it is, what it will be, but that's certainly
because you don't
working on
know,
it.
or
Partly.
so Steve is making a live commitment that something will replace Ray by the end of Q1. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Okay, good. Next question.
Yes.
Steph?
Hi Jill, I'm Matt. Based on the success of ResQ, if you start all over again, what would you do differently?
It's a really, really tough question, and it's a very, very boring answer. But as a business owner, I would never, ever, ever set up a business without a finance director ever again. And after nearly 18 and a half years, are we now? 18 and a half years, we have finally got a fantastic finance director in, no disrespect to Paul, by the way, I love you, but in Mark Moore. But I wouldn't start a business again without having a finance person stood with us. It's a boring answer, but it's the truth.
Okay. Next question.
What was your biggest hurdle in your career and how did you overcome it?
This is actually a really interesting question because I've taken it as a personal one to me, and if you guys want to answer it, but it is quite a personal answer. But when I was working at my previous company before we set up ResQ, I got pregnant with my daughter Anna, who a lot of you know. She's now 20, and I suffered really bad discrimination. I don't know what you call it when it's discrimination against a pregnant woman. What do you call it?
Sexual discrimination.
Just sexual discrimination. That was vile. And I was the senior director of operations, and I was cancelled from every meeting, going to the US, every travel. And I think that's one of the reasons why with ResQ, I've got zero tolerance to any sort of discrimination against anybody for anything, because it really upset me, because I had a big job and I wasn't allowed to do it. So, but I got them back, don't worry, it's fine. But in answer to that question, I had to give a personal answer because I think that's what she was asking for.
Great answer. Love that one.
Do you support all FC or LKR, the west side or the east side?
Do you know, everybody knows I don't like rugby league. So Cadden's going to answer that.
Yeah, I think everyone knows where I feel. For those who don't know, the rugby league in Hull is quite tasty, to say the least, between black and white being the west side and red and white being the east, and I'm red and white to the core, so I'm a Rovers lad, so it's Rovers.
You got a round of applause.
It's two people called around.
They fill the ground, mate.
Next question.
Hi, my name's Bailey. My question for the boss was, would the Hull site ever get a car park? Like the CM site, I've seen it online before, like internally, externally, anything like that.
I think it's a really interesting question, and we did talk about this actually. We could build you a car, but we'd have to knock the station down, or put it where British Home Stores was. There's no space for a car park in town, but you can park in Prospect Centre for a £5.
Yeah, you get monthly passes as well, which is quite reasonable. Annual passes, I think they're still doing as well. So, but yeah, limited space, impossible.
So you give two people the Person of the Year award last year. If you had to choose, which one would it be?
Harry, is he here? Is he there?
I'm going to drop him in it. I haven't think of one, and Mike helped with that question.
That's all.
Well, you see, there's a reason why we gave two, because we couldn't distinguish between two people, because two people deserved it, and I think they deserved it for different reasons. They do a similar job, but their input and contribution was very different, and I could not split the two of them, and I think they both, I'm looking at you, Harry, but they both 100% deserved it. And if I said that, it would, as you said, Matt, it would take the shine off one of them, and that's not appropriate, and I wouldn't do that, and they both deserved it. So
absolutely agree.
Get lost, Mikey, for your question. Okay, next question.
So if you had to be stuck in the lift with any member of staff, who would it be and why?
Jack Milton.
Yeah, well, I don't get the lift for that exact reason, because I'm fearful of getting stuck in lifts, but I do think, and I've been asked a similar question before, it would have to be Cadden or Lee, because they'd get me out. They're handy, aren't you, handy boys? You could fix stuff.
And I'd just cry in the corner or something.
Probably wouldn't. I wasn't demeaning your manhood. What did you say?
I can't reach the buttons.
You're not stuck. Yeah. I'll shut up now.
Okay, next question.
Hey, I'm just wondering whether improved canteen facilities include new options such as hot food in the future.
Did we all hear that one? It was a bit.
Yeah, it's what's the canteen? Are we going to get better canteen facilities and see them? I think the short answer is what we'd like to do is do a survey of what types of food that you would like to have in there, and then we'll see what we can facilitate. Yeah. I think that's a short answer. Any more questions?
Couple more.
From Scottish Power Business, my question is, would the company look at increasing their pension contribution and match employee contribution?
Steve?
As I said earlier, we're reviewing benefits. Pensions are one we haven't typically looked at because you look at the demographic of people that we have here. They're not something that's not necessarily interested to them. But I think it certainly is worth looking at. I think if we could afford to do it, I think it would be a great thing for people to have as well.
So I think you said earlier, off camera, that you had a meeting next week about pensions, and you were going to explore opportunities, and then we would run the numbers with finance.
Yes.
And see what things we might be able to deliver.
That's exactly what I said.
See how that works.
Well, I was really hypnotised then.
Yeah. But I think we did say if it's something, we will look at it. But we don't have huge uptake from the vast majority of people. But
lots of opt-out.
Yeah, because people want the money. But we'll see what we can do, and we'll present this gentleman with some options.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Hi Jill. My question to you, after living the dream over the Christmas period, is are we getting paid any earlier this month?
Yes, Chris, you are. Just you though, not everyone. Have you? I think it's the 24th, is it?
24th, yeah.
24th of Jan, you'll be paid.
To be fair, I think Chris was saying is he wants to be paid tomorrow, yeah? Something like that.
Chris, if you need a cash advance, see me. Okay? Right, next question. Excuse me.
Roughly when the coffee shop's going to be ready on the second floor?
Good question, but the short answer is probably unlikely to be ready. Our plan is to open the ResQ Cafe on the 3rd floor, which will be a fully functional kitchen, and we'll be moving that coffee machine to a new coffee shop on the 3rd floor, which will be 4th. Did I say, sorry, 4th? Yeah, 4th floor, thank you. You are Director of Risk and everything, yes. Governance and stuff. 4th floor, there'll be a coffee shop there where you can get a coffee as you go out onto the new smoking terrace, and the cafe will be built out and seat 200 people, and that should be ready July time. But there didn't seem too much point in doing this one and then doing a 3rd one, so there we are. Oh, and I promised to put pictures of the cafe and the coffee shop and the layout onto the intranet.
Yep.
Is that what I'm doing? Or you're doing it,
Yeah,
actually?
we'll get that done when this goes out.
Yeah, Cadam will do that.
Okay.
Hi Jill, I'm off to Greece in Kos this year. Just wondering, what was your favourite destination to go to? What do you like to eat and drink when you go there?
Well, actually, my favourite destination last year was Kos in Greece. It was incredible, and I drank all of it. So I don't really bother about the food when I go on holiday. But yeah.
Okay, my question is regards to the upgrade on 3rd floor. Is there any update on to when that will be completed, and do we also know which campaigns would move up there?
So July it will be ready, the 3rd floor. Campaigns wise, I can't answer that right now because I don't know. It depends on who grows the quickest and what new business we win between then and now.
Hi, my name's Cameron and I work from Allbus. And my question is, what is your growth plans for sale?
So we've invested this year in a marketing team, or we did at the back end of last year, to market our business. We've hired a new gentleman who started yesterday, and his job title is Director of Growth Strategy. Thank you, Steve. And our plans are to fill that site as soon as we can. Next question.
Are there any plans for growth in 2025? And if so, what does that look like?
Yeah, we've got loads of plans, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Right, in fact, right now.
Well, yes, I just didn't want to ask the audience if they had any questions. We did give them an opportunity. The difference here is obviously we may have had a view of those prior to this, so this is going to be.
Should I do some?
Yeah. If they've got any.
Yeah, go on.
Anyone
have any questions for us in the audience?
Come on, there must be one.
See if you can find any more campaigns out there.
Any more confidential information anyone wants to share? No. Yeah, got one. Right. What's your name and where you from?
I'm Nathan, work in recruitment. Jill.
Oh God.
I've been asked to ask you this.
Have you? Brilliant.
You've got a choice out of one of them. Who would you rather work in the company? Matt or Alan Dunn? Who do you prefer?
Ooh, is Alan there?
I'll just. That's right. I'm going out. Fine. Don't worry, Alan. I get it, mate. It's fine.
Alan, come here. Come on.
Hi, Jill. Ooh, Jill.
There's a story behind Alan. So Alan, I hired you many years ago. Was it July 2006?
18 and a half years ago.
Yeah, so Alan's like one of our longest standing employees. And I do love you, Alan. So I can't pick between the two of you.
That's a tough one. That's
I'm
awful,
sorry.
And I get it.
And also, he did come once to the Beverley races with us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
You're telling that story?
Not all of it. No. You can ask Alan about his time at the Beverley races when he did a handstand against the wall.
That's only because we'd had something to drink, and Gill said to me, "It's a bit boring here. Will you do a handstand or something?" So I did.
So he did.
Yeah, you did.
But it left a big stain on the
Yes, so
wall, didn't it?
Nick had to use you as a duster to clean it off. So, yeah, you've been here a very long time. It's a very difficult question. Can't answer it, not going to answer it. Because I can't choose.
Thanks, Nate.
Because, you know.
Well done.
Any more yet? Right, what's your name and where you from?
Max, simple sales agent, British Gas.
There's nothing simple about you, mate. And
Well,
you
asked
wore
me
the
to wear
shirt
this
for me.
today. I did. From start to finish, from the moment you opened to now, what are you the most proud of?
My people. The people that work here. You guys are amazing. The careers we've developed, the campaigns that we've built, our tenacity, the fact we never give up. I just love all that about us. It's in our DNA. We don't accept failure ever. And I don't know how we've created a team of people with that sort of passion, but we have. And that's what I will take to my grave about this business, because I'm most passionate about that. Can't clap myself though. Okay, are we moving on?
We are moving on. So now it's about a look ahead. So obviously a new year. What is 2025? What's that going to look like? What's that all about? So I don't think we have. Oh, we're done there. That's
We're
fine.
just going to talk now, aren't we?
Yeah, over to you, Jill.
I was just going to ask, who am I going to ask this to?
On the spot again.
Yeah, Dan. No, you haven't had it enough. Steve, what's been your best ever job?
My favourite job was a barrow boy at Pontins.
Oh, what?
A barrow boy used to take people's luggage around.
All
Used
right.
to get massive
I thought
tips.
barrow boys are like sell fruit.
They do, yeah, but that's what they were called.
Okay.
Used to get massive tips.
Okay.
All the time.
That's
my
your best
favourite
job.
That's my best job ever, yeah.
Current one.
No, he's not. He's literally not. I used to be a pizza delivery driver when I was at uni, and I was terrible at it and got lost. So I hated it because the pizzas were always cold because I could never find where I was going. Anyone else want to answer their best ever job? I'll ask you a more difficult one if you can't.
Yeah, Cyprus. I lived in Cyprus for 3 years and had fun. Lots of it.
Ran a bar.
Yeah.
Danced on tables, apparently.
Danced on
Did
tables.
karaoke.
Got the full street dancing.
Amazing.
All of it.
Okay, let's leave that and go to where we... So looking forward, we spent a lot of time last year doing the 2025 numbers. We call that a budget, as most of you will know, and we've set that budget and it's gone out to the business. That budget is a little bit of growth from this year, not very much, because that's what you tell the rest of the exec that you're going to deliver. But we don't want to do the budget, do we?
No.
No. So we've also set what we call the vision, which is the budget plus what we actually think is going to happen. Most of the guys in the audience here will know that. We always have a stretch target. So do you want to give some numbers?
Yeah, sure. So budget is growth year on year of 8%, which is an additional 160 FTE that we have today. To deliver that growth, there is obviously going to be some requirements for promotions, etc. So just delivery of budget is 11 additional team leaders, 2 ops managers, 1 call centre manager, plus obviously lots of support roles to go along with it. The vision growth is actually 23% growth year on year, which is an additional...
So that would make us a business with a turnover of what?
74?
You just start laughing when you hear that number, don't you? Some of you have been here a long time. I remember when we set ourselves a target of doing, was it 4 million for the final quarter? And it won't mean a lot, so I don't want to bore people with numbers, but we're doing close to 5 million in a month now. And if we can get anywhere near 70 million from where we were pre-COVID, when we did 22, I think, or 28, help me out with the numbers, it will be incredible growth. But what I'm not, the money is irrelevant because that pays the wages, but what's important is the promotion opportunities for our people, and that's why, Kev, your LPP programs, Andy as well, sorry, that's why that is hugely important, so we can continue to promote from within. So if we get to those numbers with the new business, fill CM up, fill the third floor here, we've got the capacity already to deliver that sort of turnover. So if we do that, how many more team leaders would we need?
Well, just on agent population, that's the growth of 430 FTE. That's 430 people.
Which would be, that's net, that's day.
Yeah, that's sat down. So
about 600.
Yes, about 600 jobs.
Yeah.
To deliver that, would need 30 team leaders, 6 ops managers, and 3 additional call centre managers.
Account managers, probably 5.
Easy.
Resource planning,
Yeah.
IT. Trainers, yeah.
It's another business, yeah, it's exactly that.
So the reason for mentioning this isn't to say, wow, aren't we good? The reason for mentioning it is to say, if you want to develop your career here, this is the year that it's going to happen. Please get yourself on any of the relevant programs that you are interested in. Make sure that careers fair happens, so you know what people do. Don't be frightened to ask questions. Come and find us and talk to us, because I want to promote from within.
Amazing.
Is that it?
I think I'm at the end of my list.
Okay, good. So I wanted to finish off by saying, and well, hoping, I'm going to ask the guys, I asked them at the beginning of this, I didn't want it to be boring, and I wanted it to be a good update, and I wanted people to leave listening to this knowing that they work for a great company that has huge opportunities for 2025. Can you tell me if we've achieved it? Yeah. Sure? If this is useful to you guys, we will commit to doing this on a quarterly basis and giving you updates on where the company is going. I look forward to more questions from you. Is there anything else that you guys would like to say? Anything about what you're looking most forward to for 2025? Okay.
I'm looking forward to sitting here at the end of the year and realising some of those things we've just talked about.
Absolutely.
I am so excited about this year. I think we've got a great platform for growth. We're ready. Our tech is second to none. No one is doing what we're doing with AI. No one's got those solutions. We've got a huge opportunity to take this business forward. This is the team that's going to do it, along with the majority of the people who are sat there in the audience and all you guys out on the calling floor that deliver 0 complaints, because that helps us when we're talking to new clients. So onwards and upwards. Here's to a fantastic 2025, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, everybody.